Now in this demonstration I'm going to show you how you can do black and white fur on a dog. I've started off by just very roughly running around with the appropriate colours, the edges. And I've already put the white in there, so this is the white on the other side, working the direction that you see the hair lying in. And this has to be solid, therefore you don't see any pastel paper showing through. Now I'm going to do the white first because I work from light to dark and it's always a good idea. Now I'm going as far down as there, and I'm going to surround the eye here so that you'll be able to see how I work the different colours and tones. I'll just bring this down a little more. Now this is fairly easy if you follow the rules, and the rules are you leave the pastel paper showing through where you want the stronger colours to be. And I'm only going down as far as here. And the idea is I want to put the fur surrounding the eye because I'm going to do the eyes in another demonstration. Now this is primarily showing you how to work the fur out. And you see, as I'm twisting round, I'm following the direction that I see the hair lying in. And this makes such a difference to the effect at the end. Now I'm just imagining that I've got the black already over there, so I'm leaving some of the colour. Here we've got a kind of a mixture of black and white, so here we don't do it quite so solid like that. It's going to be very dark around the eye when I eventually get to that. And then back here it's solid again. Now that's all of the white fur put in. You see over here it's almost straight. There we are, that's the end of the white fur. Obviously it will continue down here, but we're now going to bring in the grey. Now, although it's black and white, you want to put an undercushion. We call these cushion colours. It's when you put a colour underneath a very, very dark colour. In this case it's going to be, ultimately it will be black, but we've got another colour in between the two. Now when you get down here, it's got a slither of dark there, and we have just a little bit of dark there, but not that much. In other words, when it gets down here, it's kind of mixing with the white, so we have a combination of two, and you'll see that a little bit better later on. Another little dark area here. The more detail you can get into something like this, the better it's eventually going to look. Now just there, we've got a mixture of the white and, or light and dark, should I say. So we don't make it quite so strong. I'll come back to that in a minute, but let's just do this. Now, we want to come into the white, but obviously if you put the grey in the white, it's going to be weakened. So you kind of presume that you're going to be coming back with the white, which we are in a little while. So we can start the ball rolling, give the impression. And up here it's dark. Now once again, this is a large area and this is in direction of fur. Now I've already put a lighter application of grey there, and you'll see why that is in a minute. And this comes all the way around here. Now I'll finish that off in a moment, but I just want to take you through this next bit, because once again we've got some of the grey filtering into there. Okay, and then it's dark again. I should fill that off camera, but let's just come in here now, because this is the next area. Now I've already put an area around the eye, that's indicated by that dark line. So we won't go any further than that for the moment. But I wanted to show you how the fur looks at this stage. Now here we have another area where we have the white and the grey converging. Again, you see, everything I do, you see, is direction of fur. Now it doesn't really show up so much with these lighter colours, but it will when you get to the darker colours. But the intention is really important. So if you intend, you see now coming around here, if you intend to do it, everything you do, you'll find that it shows at the end of the day. Now that is what I was talking about earlier when I said the white goes into the grey, like that. So you've kind of already got the idea of that. Let me just fill that in, and then we'll work on the next colour. I'm not going to do too much here because this is the eye sequence that we'll be doing. But there is just a little bit of dark on that side, which is quite important. It's not solid, and I shall be putting, in fact I'll do it now, I'll be putting just a little bit of white in. Now the reason I'm doing that is because eventually I'm going to have a very dark eye. When we get the eye dim, you'll find that that's very dark there. So we want to contrast against it. And in a moment I'll be putting the dark colour in there. Let me finish that off first. That's with the grey. Now the next application to the dark colour is 181. This is 181 in the Faber range. It's a Payne's grey. Now here, remember I said that that was going to be dark? Well, I've just made it dark, leaving a very light slither there. And here will be dark too. That's all I'm going to do there. But just here we've got that. And this is where we've got to be just a little bit careful. Very lightly stroke this colour in, because it's not solid white or not solid black. It's just got an infill of the two colours together, like that. Down again, down here, and that will eventually extend to about there. Let me just show you that. Do a little bit more of the snout. There we are. Now, grey, let's put the grey in first. That will come, and that peters out when it gets to there. Now, I'm doing more demonstrations on this animal. I'm doing the eyes, I'm doing the nose, and I'm doing the background as well. So that'll be interesting. Now here, we can also use the very dark colour to suggest those hairs coming back, like that. If you can make a bit of a start on this before you have to redo the white and put the white back over, it just makes it a little bit easier to understand. Ooh, that's it. And what I didn't tell you, and I should have done, is that's also, same as this, an infill of grey, or dark and light, should I say. And like that. But everywhere else is dark. Now I can do that off camera. You've seen me do that before. Just around here though, we've got I don't want to make this too dark. So when I put the black on in a minute, it will be minimal. But it's quite hard, and this is why I wanted to do this particular dem for you, because you've got to try to think about this as being fur direction. I've emphasised this quite a lot during this demonstration, and it is really, really important. Now that's going to be a little darker, but not that much darker than it is there. And once again, come into the white suggesting a blending of those two colours, like that. Now this, you see how much easier it is when you start from the medium tones and then you work in the dark colours too. There we are. Now I've finished this off, but I'll show you little bits as we go through, and you can see it all done, but you'll see it in bits and pieces. When I get up there, this is where I'm going to be again a little bit frugal with my dark. Make it dark, but I want to leave it a light edge, otherwise we'll just run into the ear, and then you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two, which is what I want to do. Now watch as I do this. You'll see as I work the pencil strokes, it'll be like that until I get to here, when it'll be like that. I've almost finished. Let's bring in the fur here. Now you notice that this is a lot darker here, and that's because we want a light in the dark side, otherwise the head will run into the neck. We don't want that to happen. So there we are. Now, if you have a colour shaper, this is a good time to do it. You could wait until you've got the black on, but I think it's probably a good idea to do it when you get to this stage, because you can just see then how the fur lies, and you work the strokes exactly the same way as I was showing you with the pencil, like that. Now I'll do that all over. You see, what you're doing is you're pushing the colour into the paper. If you haven't got a blender of some kind, whether it's a colour shaper like mine, or a paper blender, then if you haven't got one, you won't be able to do that. You just have to rely on the other colours. Now I'm going to use the black. It's where you've got to be just a little more careful. I'm going to concentrate on this area. We've got to work with strokes very much in the fur direction. Now it helps because I've already rubbed it in. And I don't want to come too far down here that I was telling you about earlier. Just at the top of the head, it's a good idea just to leave that a little bit lighter. I've got, and I'm going to show you in a minute, how you can go back over this with a colour we haven't actually used yet on this particular demonstration, but it will work really well. Now, let me continue with that. I'll rub it in, blend it in, then I'll go over this area using the black in the way that you see me doing it now. So that's how it's going to be. And then I'll come back and I'll show you the next procedure. I've also got to go around here too. So I'll do little bits and pieces as I've done before, so just you can see all of it done, but you won't see every tiny little bit. Just here I'm going to make that just a little darker, and just there, just on the tip of that. But I don't want to make it dark in there. So it might be an idea just to blend that in. As I said, the reason I've done that is because when the eye is dark, it will show up better. That's all the black put in now, and you see it looks great. What I would do is just where you have the relationship between the white and the black, just go over. You can do this with either one way or the other. You can either go with the white over like I'm doing now, which is probably the better way of doing it. Or you can pull the black in, but here you've got to be a bit more careful. So it depends on how you feel about it. The other thing to do is, it's always nice in an area like this to add just a little bit more colour. So what I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of my ivory pencil just into the white application. Don't go too close to this. We want a relationship between the ear and the white. So that white there we've put in, and the dark on the other side should stay. And this ivory can go all over. Apart from the creaminess and the really attractive look it gives to a white animal, is it also helps to fill the paper up nicely. You see that? And just there, if you don't have to do this, folks. You can leave it as it is. You can just put just a little spot of ochre. I always think that just a little touch of ochre or colour can make such a difference. I don't think we need it there, do we? No, I don't think we do. I think that's the only place really. It just gives a little bit of tone in there, and I would leave that. So that's now finished the demonstration, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you soon. Remember that we have other demonstrations on the ear, the nose, and the background to come. So I'll look forward to seeing you in one of them. Bye for now.